Good morning. It's Saturday, November 30, 2024. Very cold morning, the very first one of the year that really feels like winter, and the frost is all over the place outside. I took all of my plants that could be moved, put them somewhere else. I just thought this would be too extreme to just cover them up alone. But I do, of course, have my two trees on the back that I have no choice but to cover them and add lighting. Just to show even this space here, I presume that's going to get below freezing. The local weather observers from Wonderground are saying this is a daybreak at about 21 to 23 Fahrenheit. That'd be -5, -6 Celsius. The frost is crept up all the way to the edge of the house. It's even on top of my rain barrel. And even inside, with all this water, there's ice forming on the top here. So no question about it, these are winter conditions. So let's walk back and I'll take a look at the trees that I have covered at the back of the house here. I put the kumquats in the corner here, and I've got water in these two chests that ostensibly have some insulation around the edges, so I think that these might retain heat just a little longer than a typical 5-gallon bucket would. But I don't feel frozen leaves here, so there seems to be enough heat trickling from the house and just hovering around in this corner that these did not freeze. But here are my trees, and last night I was putting this together in the cold and the dark, so I didn't do a perfect job, but my assumption is the trees need at least some circulation of air anyway, so even if there are some gaps, it's not a problem. You know, some oxygen is needed by plants at night anyway. But I've got all these C7 lights in there, and if I put my hand inside, I can certainly feel the difference. I've got a thermometer in the middle here. And this reading, that looks like right at 30 degrees Fahrenheit, -1 Celsius. And I would think a little bit warmer inside here beside all these lights. I do have this one limb protruding out, and I feel a very light glaze of frost on these exterior leaves, really just barely enough to even notice. That reminds me of what I might encounter on a night that approaches freezing, and I know that a lila tree can handle just a small amount of frosting, so I would not be upset if I just lost a small limb like this at the top. The tree probably needs pruning anyway, but I think this will be okay. One thing I did this time is I put these larger trash cans and stacks of buckets just to trap some ground heat and possibly prevent cold air from flowing and oozing past this area. And maybe that worked, but I can feel no frost in the interior here. Maybe just a little along this leading edge as the cold air moves this direction. Looking at the ground, there's a little bit of frost that penetrated this far in, and I view that as something of a yardstick to say I know it's a seriously cold evening and morning if the frost starts to reach the edge of my lean-to shed here. So no question about it, this is a seriously cold morning, and there's going to be about 5 more of these coming up. So that's my system to deal with it, and it looks like things are working out. Onward I go into the winter.